Thank you. Bill Campbell Place. I'm like Don, I have a lot, my name's John Nelson. I'm like Don, I have a lot of stories about Joe that I can tell, but I can't tell them in the next company. Or I could tell them, but you'd have to put your fingers in your ears. But we had a lot of fun. I never roomed with Joe, we were sweet mates, we did a lot of things together. The thing I remember probably most about Joe, he had an old yellow Corvair. Nobody drove Corvairs, but Joe had one. We'd get in that Corvair, we'd run up down Wellborn Road, because that was his road. So we'd run up down that road. Then we'd get tired of doing that, we'd run into our favorite place in Bryan called the Hitching Post. Most of the old lads know where the Hitching Post is and heard of it, but it was just a beer joint. So we'd hang out there a while, and then we'd come back. And then Don tells a story about Ray Kabbalah. I have another story about Ray Kabbalah I can tell about Joe. I'll save that for another day. But anyway, he was a good friend, and we all miss him.
We know all these guys around here, you know, we stepped foot on the campus as freshmen, not knowing what we were getting into, you know, for the most part. But the one of our favorite people, I think of all time, was Joe Wellborn, because his humor just couldn't be matched, I can guarantee you. He had a Corvair his father gave him, and a Corvair was actually a Chevy with the motor in the back, you know, and so anyway, whenever we get a cloudburst, you know, we had some pretty good ones, you know, for the most part. You know, Wellborn went down the hallway, said, "Hey, we're gonna go driving. Come on, anybody want to go?" Said, "Here we go." You know, so we got in that car, and he would go up right through the middle of the campus and turn around in front of the chemistry building, and the water was puddled up, and right along the street there was a pretty good flow of water, and he would run that car right through the water, right in the middle of it like that, and he'd throw up a wave about this high. You know what I mean? And all these guys were just getting out of class, you know, and I mean, they didn't see him because he was going down the street, you know, when they were going home, he couldn't see him. So these guys would sit there and they'd duck like that, and there's a wall of water coming back at them, you know. And the thing, we couldn't stop laughing. Joe he was driving down there, and he said, "Oh man, this is fun, you know, I mean, we're having a good time." I can tell you, I'll never forget that. You guys remember that, right? I tell you what, all of us, these three guys, right, these four guys, they were in that car a time or two. You know what I mean?
No, I never was there.
Right. But anyway, we just had a blast, and we had a lot of things. You know, we go out and do some stuff. So anyway, that's what my memory will never quit.